Hey guys, good morning. I hope you can hear me. Um, I hope everyone is having a great day so far. It's pretty early. It's 7:30. Yesterday I had a great opportunity to have a conversation with Missy Lynn over on Instagram. It was it was a success. We had a nice conversation, got to know her. We did some question and answer, as you will see. So this is really just going to be the rebroadcast. So I will be in the chat, but this is pretty much the only time that you'll hear my voice in this broadcast. Good morning, Pineapples. Good morning, Carol. If any of you missed this yesterday, it was really nice. So I'm going to be in the chat with you guys if you guys have any questions, but I'm just going to go ahead and rebroadcast this. We got together last night around 8:30 p.m. and we talked until about 10:30, and I saw you there, Pineapples, and some of you guys who were there, some of your Instagram names don't transfer over to your YouTube name. So some people were like, "Hey, it's me, so and so, or this and that." And like I said, it was a great event. It was super positive. I think a lot of great feedback. Right now, it's got over 10,000 views just from last night, which, she's got a really big following on Instagram and YouTube. So that doesn't surprise me. However, uh, I definitely wanted to make sure that my audience that may not have come over to Instagram or even potentially hers got an opportunity to see it. So I'm going to just go ahead and hit the play button, and I'll be here with you guys in the chat. And if you guys come in and out, that's fine. This is really, again, an opportunity for me to get this onto my channel. And whenever anyone comes through to watch it, guys, you are all welcome to go ahead and watch it. So I appreciate all of you that have come in right now. So good morning. And it was really great. Oh, nice, Carol. So yeah, she's very sweet. She's so nice. Like, she really is a nice person. We did have an opportunity to have a pre-interview call, and we ended up talking for about 3 hours. And I don't know if it was just the Virgo thing, but she, of course, obviously she's got the gift to gab because she's on YouTube. And so we did not have a topic that we couldn't just like talk about, period. So she was really nice to talk to, easy to talk to, very down to earth, and just kind of on chill mode right now. I think she has done enough to where she is happy where she's at. And she's going to go into explaining some of that, but she's not really, I don't want to say not driven in a bad way, but not really driving that path of, I need to grow, I need to do this, or I need to do that. I think she's at a place right now where she feels very comfortable, but also said, I'm not going to kind of rest in being too comfortable, but certainly says that there's some comfort there in all of the hard work that she's done, that she's at a place that she kind of likes where she's at. Because of course, the larger you get, the more responsibilities you have. But she seems to be doing quite a bit on Instagram too, where she has a pretty nice following, over 300K. And I think between both YouTube channels, a little over 800. So I think somewhere about 300 on one, and over 500,000 on the beauty channel. So and so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button so we can go ahead, because this is almost a 2-hour interview. So if you got to go and come back, or go and come back later, feel free to do so. Whoever is watching this on replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make sure to hit the like button. And if you enjoy this, go ahead and hit the share if you can. I certainly would appreciate it. So I hope that everyone has a great day, and I will be in the chat with you guys in just a minute.
I hope y'all all having a great Wednesday. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Pretty good. It's been a long day, but nonetheless, made it.
it's been a long one, definitely.
Yeah. So guys, so this is Fran from
Can you
Love
guys
Rise
hear
and
okay? Can you
Lacefront.
give me a 1 in the
She
chat if
has
this is
more of
coming
like a
through
reaction
loud and
channel,
clear?
correct? Is that like your title for that specific channel?
Yeah, it's reaction tea. Yeah, but I would say mostly reaction because a lot of what I focus is on YouTube channels. What I like YouTube channels you love to watch. So because why spend time on the YouTube channels we hate to watch? These are
Right. Exactly.
these to watch. So yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So we are going to conduct an interview, and you can tell them a little bit more about what it is exactly that you're doing.
So, well, welcome everyone. Thanks. I appreciate everyone who's here tonight. It's so much, it was such I want to say honor. I mean, it's really nice to meet someone. Oh, and cheers. I've got my drink.
Got the wine, girl. Got the wine.
To be able to have a conversation with someone who's doing YouTube and has been doing YouTube for a period of time, because myself, I've been doing YouTube for 2 years now, and to be able to have a conversation with someone who's been in the game for a long period of time, has, navigated their way around. And I was watching the video that you sent me from about 6 years ago, and it's so true. You said something about people doing YouTube, and most of the people, if they don't like it, yeah, they're going to stop pretty quickly. So no matter what, you really have to like something about YouTube to be doing this, or love something about it, because there's so much that you have to deal with. So I really appreciate you taking this time to have a conversation, because I think a lot of people, it's a curiosity for a lot of people, especially if they don't do YouTube. They really want to understand what drives most people, and then also the people who are really successful at it, like yourself. So thank you for taking time to talk to us. But yeah, so what I wanted to do tonight was really have a conversation, talk about your path, from, that's going to be a long conversation, but from the beginning to the end. So maybe just a high level overview of kind of what got you here. And then even just some of the pitfalls, because oftentimes on my reaction channel, we talk about, what's currently going on, the most recent videos. Oh my gosh, did you see that there was some drama? Because that's usually like the juiciest stuff that people's attention. And you mentioned that in your video too, about how the stuff that gets shared is usually the drama. But I think sometimes that's how people find out about you, because, there's always that saying of people, they like to see the setback, but they also like to see the comeback. So someone has a problem, they want to see how you resolve it, or if you ever resolve it. Do you kind of live in it, or are you someone that kind of like, you know what I mean? So and then just rolling into kind of what's new, what's now, what's next. I'd love to hear your take on reaction videos. I've done definitely a handful regarding you and Jayla. So we can just kind of jump right in. I know I'm pulling up, I have a few questions that I wanted to, okay, pulling up now. Let's see. I think okay, there might be in my email. I'm sorry.
Yep.
So I want to jump into kind of like a just a quick kind of get to know you round, which of course most of the people here know you quite well, or well enough, because they're your subscribers and followers. Is there anything new going on right now? Kind of what your current status is that you'd like to tell us? Like what's current with you?
Honestly, right now I'm just trying to get back into the groove of finding that passion again for YouTube. Not that I absolutely like lost passion for it. Sometimes when things happen, you can get a little discouraged in a sense. But I think that it's very healthy to sometimes pull away from, certain things and regroup and strategize and try to figure out the next step and how to evolve at the exact same time, resolve the situation and evolve from the situation, like whatever it is that's keeping you down. So that's kind of where I've been, just kind of doing research, trying to figure out exactly what people want to see these days, because I know typically what I like to watch on YouTube is not what everyone else wants to see and what people want to see from me. Sometimes I'm just like, I overthink. I'm an overanalyzer, overthinker,
Right.
Virgo. So I think I make it harder than it really is. So it's just more so just trying to find the content again, and then also kind of wrap that into like a newfound passion for it. Because sometimes, you know, with doing YouTube, after a while, when it starts to feel like a job, and I say that from an aspect of when you first start off, you have this passion and it's fun. And
Right.
then there are certain things that kind of come along the way as you grow, and you start to realize like, okay, well, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I think for me, the thing that kind of changed everything for me was boundaries, in a sense.
Right.
And so when boundaries were like repeatedly crossed, that's when I kind of felt like, well, I don't feel comfortable sharing this. I don't feel comfortable sharing that. When in reality, that's what being like, well, for me, being a YouTuber is about, as far as like vlogging and whatnot. It just became one of those uncomfortable type of situations. You know, I still have a job to do, but how can I do it when I'm having to steadily, you know, keep things away, or like not allowing people to have access to that part of my life? Because of course boundaries are always overstepped. And I'm glad that we have having a conversation about like reaction channels and things like that, which can be detrimental depending on who the person is and how strong they are. It can cause people to quit, you know, like ridicule and things like that. So right now I'm just focusing, working with my management team, steadily working. I'm working on YouTube things, but lately I've been doing more like Instagram content, which is, in my mind, work smarter, not harder, in a sense. But just trying to get back that mojo for YouTube again. And then recently, from like my OG followers, I had a lip gloss in collaboration with Gerard Cosmetics years ago. And it recently restocked. So I'm excited about that, because Cocoa Bean was like one of my favorite lip glosses. And so I was just notified that it came back into stock. They've been out of the components for a few years, as far as like changing factories and vendors and things like that. So now it's finally.
Palette too?
Yeah, that was with BH Cosmetics.
Okay, because I feel like I remember that.
Yeah, that was with BH Cosmetics. I had lipstick and an eyeshadow palette, and then with Gerard.
I mean, I don't know if that was really common when you did it. Maybe was that kind of new, like 5-6 years ago, because I guess you do see sometimes the makeup palette collabs and things like that, but now it's just so commonplace. But I just felt like it was really like the Jaclyn Hills. It was like the, you know, and to see a Black influencer have a makeup palette. And I know that that's not really something that you rest on. Like, you know, you're an influencer, a beauty blogger. It's more than just your race, but we know that there is sometimes a little bit of, you know, we want to get the most bang for our buck. And if we see covers more terrain, even though they have a very niche market, if that's not necessarily their market, which we know that a lot of Black beauty influencers have done a lot to really forge the way to where we see arrays of colors for foundation and more complementary colors, not to mention all of us of all races come in many different tones. But I mean, that was pretty kind of at the forefront, having a makeup palette, wasn't it? Like, did it in when you had that this is kind of a big deal?
Yeah, so for me it was, because I was the first African-American woman, especially with BH Cosmetics, to actually create a line. And they were working with tons of influencers at that point. And I was honored to be, you know, a Black woman, the first African-American woman to do to have a collaboration with them. And then soon after that. I can't remember the order, but I either did my palette first and then Cocoa Bean after, and then BH Cosmetics came back, and that's when we did the lipstick line.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So then for them to come back to me, because at first I was like kind of afraid. I was, one, a Black influencer, and two, my numbers weren't up there with, you know, the other top tier influencers that already had collaborations with them. So I was like a little worried, like, you know, how will sales kind of convert, things like that? Will people actually support being that I'm the first Black female? But then they came back, you know, a second time, and we did the lipsticks. That sold out quickly, I think within like the first week or something like that. And then they came back for a second round, like, hey, Rick, like, we have to order more because it's sold out. It's gonna be a little while, but we want to like have more in stock for you. So I was like, okay, you know,
it's great that people buy something because they like you, but the really amazing thing is when people buy something because the product, they like you and the product is
the product.
So, and then it kind of surpasses just you. It's more, and I love it. So, but yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
I had a couple of questions and I'm trying to transfer it over, and just give me one I was trying to like not wear my glasses, and
thank y'all
on me right now. Just one second. So let me take this over here, see if this works.
And no worries, take your time. I'm not in a rush.
Okay. So okay, well, let me just read off of here. Okay, so we've kind of gotten caught up on what you've been doing. Let's do a couple of kind of hot seat questions, because of course we want to know what's going on with Missy.
Hot seat.
People want to know what's the tea. So I'm gonna give you a few, and you know, if you know, you can just say yes, no, true, false, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you want to expand on something, because I mean, you do have a clean image. You know what I mean? You have a very clean image.
Thank you.
And clean by, I mean, there's not a whole lot of talk. So even just to kind of rewind almost a year ago, hearing something with Missy's name attached to it that could be remotely drama or tea is kind of like, what? Excuse me, not Missy Lynn. Tell us now, over this past year, did you get married? What is going on, Missy?
No, I'm married.
Okay.
I'm taking my time. I've been married before. I'm taking my time with the whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been there, done that, but open to it again.
Yes.
Okay. So we kind of touched on this, but did you give up on YouTube? We know your account is not closed. We do see the Savage X Fenty. I know you put a vlog out. But what is really so you said you're regrouping about YouTube, but tell me this, in terms of your subscribers, are they emailing you like, Missy, what's going on? We miss you so much. We want to see you more and more often. Is it kind of like, hey, find me on Instagram, or a lot from your audience?
Yeah, I actually do. I hear a lot of, I receive a lot of traffic when it comes to, hey, where's the vlogs, miss the vlogs? And I can only blame myself because, and I really and truly don't want to blame myself in a sense for taking the time that I need to like regroup and not want to put just anything out there. And I mean, if y'all just want to hear me talk about oodles and noodles all day, I can. Iced coffee all day, I can. But
some people might.
Yeah. But sometimes I just feel, and maybe it just comes from the type of content I like to watch. I almost kind of look at it as like meat and potatoes, like having substance within the video.
You want to provide like a meal, not a snack.
Yeah. And so there's not a whole lot going on in my life. So I'm just like, I don't really know what to say and do. Like, I go to Walmart, I go to Burger King, come back home, and I'm like working on Instagram content, or I'm doing something that my management, you know, has me doing. And I'm trying my hardest not to make it to where I'm only like uploading sponsored content. You know, a lot of times when you have contracts, you sign contracts like months before certain content is due. So I'm really trying not to become one of, I mean, and nothing's wrong with that. If sponsored content is all that an influencer chooses to post, that's totally fine. But I try to like focus on not doing that, you know? And so it's been kind of hard over the past past few months as far as like the pandemic, because like I don't really go many places. I'm not around a lot of people, and the people that I am around, we take it very seriously. Like I haven't seen some of my good friends in over a year, just because, you know, everybody's out and about, and I'm trying not to be in the mix when it comes to that.
They're pod. There's pods of people. Like if you see the same 5 and you know you have a safe circle, I think people are really, we've stuck to our same safe circle here too. So I get it. I know some people are just living their lives, and if that's what you want, you know what I mean, like that's what they want to do. But yeah, I think it's wise because you know, then you know that you're going to be good rather than kind of rolling the dice on, am I going to be good or not? And to maybe some of our guests tonight who are watching, when you're saying paid content or sponsored content, what I've heard some influencers say sometimes, or some subscribers even, is that they don't always want to feel like they're being sold to. So that's what you mean, kind of, to some of the guests tonight who may not kind of correlate what you're saying, is that you don't always want to come with something for people to buy. Selling something on behalf of a company, you want to, if it's your vlog channel, you want to be able to come with something that you're genuinely wanting to update them on, or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And oftentimes, I mean, even in my vlogs without paid sponsorships, I feel like I'm always like putting people on to, you know, stuff like the sweet red wine. I talked about like Target slippers. So things that I genuinely care about, I don't mind including in my vlogs. Like, y'all, I just found this. This is so bomb. Go check it out. Oh, I found this, you know, jambalaya dish at Walmart. So fire. I found these mac and cheese balls, lobster mac and cheese balls at Walmart. Go buy it. And so when it's organic like that, I feel like I feel better. I also feel as if though, because people trust me, and I would like to think that if I have any type of sponsors in my vlog, it's because I wholeheartedly, you know, care, and I actually can see myself using it even after this video. Like I recently had to turn down a brand deal because it was more of like a healthy snack type of box, you know, like subscription. And you know, there may be healthy eaters, you know, who are a part of my audience, but I know for me, even though the snacks are actually really good, I just wouldn't see myself subscribing to that box every month because I don't eat healthy. I like to taste, you know. And not that healthy food can't be tasteful. I just like the bad stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
If you're gonna have a snack, you may as well make it work.
Exactly. So I don't want to be that person that's constantly promoting something. But if I am, I just want people to be able to trust me and trust that I have integrity. And I'm like, all right, this is actually really good. This is bomb. Like, I think I talked about makeup eraser before, which is like this towel that takes off of like all of your makeup off, and you don't even need like makeup wipes. And I think I may have just briefly mentioned it, and like still now, that was like over a year ago, people are still like messaging me about it, like, hey, what was the name of this product?
Fiber cloth or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
and that wasn't even like paid.
One of the blogs you did, I can't remember if it was right before you went and got your BBL, but you went to Best Buy because you were doing something with your camera, and you were talking about the Canon M50.
Yes.
And I was just like, okay, because I was thinking about the Sony, but I've always kind of been a Canon person. And I looked at it. I saw a ton of reviews for it. And I think it's just such a great camera, and I love the Canon M50. And then I didn't have to really change a whole bunch of stuff because then I'm dealing with like a Canon and a Sony and my iPhone.
Yeah.
Kind of all Canon all the way. But this is a great camera, and this is definitely a Missy made me do it. So
y'all don't want me to make y'all do it because y'all don't be spending money.
I feel like it's really, and you know, some of the reviews on YouTube from some of the channels like Think Media and stuff like. It's a highly rated camera for its price point. Like for what it does in the $600, $700 range, is up there with some of the more expensive DSLR cameras that are double the price. So really, even at that price point, it's like you're getting a really good product that rivals with products that are like double the price. So I took your recommendation, but then I also did some of my own research, and I'm gonna get it. And I've been very happy with it. So this is when we kind of talked about that in our pre call, and I was just like, I bought a camera because I started looking at it when you were at the Best Buy that day. And I remember I was editing my video because I was talking about what you were doing. You were up, I was kind of doing a Missy update. And I remember cutting a little bit at that point. You were at Best Buy talking about the camera. So I kind of reheard it a couple of times and it just stuck with me. And next thing I knew, I was buying the camera. I'm easily influenced.
Girl, I just bought another camera, and I'm like, every year I like try to upgrade my electronics. Well, actually not even every year, probably like every 2 years. I just recently bought the Sony Alpha R4, I think, something like that. Heard a lot of great reviews, and I have yet to pull it out of the box to play with it because I recently bought the Sony Z1 something. I forget all the names, but I recently bought that one as a vlog camera. That one's really good. And then I recently bought the Sony Alpha series, which I hear like really great reviews about it. So I just like try to like buy cameras and test them out. If over time I don't like it, I can always sell it.
Right.
The Canon M50, you can buy an adapter and you can use other Canon lenses on that.
Yeah, this lens pops off. Someone was asking maybe about the white tripod that I have this on. I think if you were asking about this, if you go to my channel, my page, if you go, you'll be able to get to my Amazon store. If you go to Amazon, I've got a storefront. Do you track some of your stuff on your storefront? Do you get a lot of people asking you about your Amazon stuff?
Not really. I do have affiliate links, but I don't have a storefront, which I've been looking at. I'm not that savvy when it comes to like graphics and stuff like that, which I'm actually pretty soon going to be looking for like someone to do like the graphics for like Instagram story and things like that. And it's not that I can't learn it. I just sometimes I don't have the time and the dedication.
Yeah, the time thing.
And learn, you know.
And I think when you came into YouTube, not that it's been so long, but you've been on for a minute. It's just incorporating the things that like when I came on, that's just kind of part of what you do. When you came on, there were certain things that are part of what you do. Like, for instance, when you're talking about negotiating deals and reaching out to brands, that's really not, that hasn't been something that's been in my wheelhouse. Now, as far as like my professional background, that is something that I'm used to doing. But in terms of approaching brands and selling me or talking about the product that is me, that's not something that I'm typically used to doing. So when I hear influencers who've been in the game for 5 to 10 years plus and, you know, start out on YouTube, but they're like, I was on YouTube, but you weren't even making any money yet. You couldn't even monetize your channel, or right when we got monetized and those kind of things. And then really talk about seeking out brands. That's something I think some of us who are coming in now, unless you've got that experience professionally in marketing or something like that, I don't know that a lot of people have, you know, that experience, you know, putting a package together or presenting themselves to brands. But that's interesting because, yeah, we're all coming in with different levels of different things in our skill set that are helpful. Do you find that a lot of people ask you for help and coaching, or, hey, Miss, how do you do this? Or can you help me find that? Or do you find a lot of people reach out to you to ask you who are maybe trying to get in the game?
Yeah, I actually do. And oftentimes more than not, I actually sit down, and if they have any questions about contracts, if, you know, if they're selling themselves short, or if a company emails them, I'll like review it for them. I'll read it and I'm like, okay, so like I'll help them come up with the structure of their response. And I do it just because sometimes, you know, I ain't got shit else to do. Like, why not extend the help, especially if they've been supporting me, and I know how hard it can be, you know, starting off with YouTube. Back when I first started, it was like taboo to reach out to brands. Like I remember going to an event and I heard someone who worked for a company, which I don't think she's there anymore, but she talked about how, you know, back then influencers would bombard emails and social media accounts to where they would eventually blacklist.
Wow.
Yes, influencers. And now
Us till we call you kind of thing.
huh?
Don't call us till we call you kind
Yeah,
of.
exactly. And so I often wonder like how common that really was.
Mhm.
But nowadays, like you can just pitch yourself to a brand, and if they find you valuable, if you have valuable content, valuable, like anything valuable to actually give to them, they don't have a problem with working, you know, with you, because at the end of the day, exposure is everything. And brands, you know, like they might hop on YouTube and search their own products, and that's how they find the influencers or hashtags, things like that. But oftentimes they overlook some people, and not by fault. It's just there's so many influencers in different categories. Huh?
It's like they don't see you.
Yeah, like they don't see you. So if you do reach out to them and you have something that is valuable to them or could be a valuable asset, then okay, well, why not partner with this influencer and just kind of see how it goes? Let's see how the return of investment is and build a long-term, long-lasting relationship.
Yeah. I mean, because you may have someone who's just doing it for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to help sell a product. But if somebody is super enthusiastic about your product, love your product, that also makes a difference, because you've got the, you know, you've got that professional who's going to sell it, but you've also got someone who's super enthusiastic who actually may come across because they really love it and they want to be associated with your brand. So I'm glad to hear that brands are definitely more sensitive to that. A couple more questions because we're still in the hot seat. So are you trying to become like an Instagram model? Because we've seen all the sexy photos, we've seen Fenty X Savage. What's going on with that? I mean, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Sure, people have told you that. So what's going on with that? You're not.
No, the IG model. First off, I don't even know how to be sexy, girl. Listen, sexy is just not me. Like I remember one of the last photo shoots I did, Wendell helped me, and him and I was damn near arguing because he's like, come on, give me your sexy face. And I'm like, my eyes all like cocked and shit. I'm like, and he's like, come on, Missy, I said sexy, like not retarded. Come on. Like, and I don't mean retarded in that negative, you know, in that negative connotation, just before anyone tries to like ding me or whatever. But he's just like, I said sexy, give me sexy. And I'm like making all kind of faces. I'm like, hell no, this not for me. Just take my photo so I can promote the damn lingerie.
Right.
Move on about my day. So absolutely not. Instagram model, not for me.
So is it easier now the more that you're doing it? Because Fenty X Savage has some beautiful pieces. And I'm sure, you know, you really hadn't been doing a lot of that type of work. I think I even saw a post where you mentioned, hey guys, I know you've seen a little bit more sexier stuff. It was almost kind of like a little bit of a disclaimer. Like, I'm a little sexy right now, but it's okay, you know. I'm okay, you know, I'm also grown. So but is it getting easier? Do you feel more comfortable doing those photo shoots now? I mean, they are really nice pieces, and I think most of the people who view that type of content is also looking at, because they're looking to find something nice for an event. Maybe they're getting married, maybe it's Valentine's. And so I think most of the people who are hitting on your pictures are coming because they want to see Fenty X Savage. But then, of course, there's people who are, I'm sure, admirers and things like that. Does that make you feel a little bit more comfortable that people really appreciate what you're putting out for whatever reason they're doing?
Yeah, it does. It actually makes me feel more confident because I'm not one to just kind of put it all out there. Like I have this rule where it's like pick a body part in a sense. So don't show everything at once.
Right.
So if I'm showing cleavage, I won't be showing too much of the legs and things like that.
Right.
Or, you know, everything. So just trying to get into that whole mindset of, okay, this is lingerie and Rihanna's behind it, which she's like the epitome of class and just being confident. She's bold and is truly someone that I admire.
Right.
So one, being offered the opportunity to actually model her pieces, I was like, hell yeah. At first, I was just like, dang, because my daddy, he's still overprotective. I'm 31 and he's still like, what the heck? So I'm like, all right, Pop's gonna be on Google looking for my content, and then he gonna see this. Then I gotta hear his shit. And then on top of that, I'm not comfortable being in lingerie. But it was kind of one of those like, but you wear swimsuits.
Right.
So it's like time and a place for everything. And I'm like, well, if I'm in the comfort of my own home, why can't I just feel a little sexier? Because truth be told, I go to bed looking homeless before I started I was going to looking homeless before. I got a bunch of cute pieces from Savage X Fenty, and I think like, I don't know. I mean, I still have my moments where I'm like big t-shirt, bonnet. And then I do have my moments where I'm wearing like the cute little 2-piece sets. And I don't know, it hits different. It makes you wake up and feel a little bit more confident. And so I'm trying to get into a habit of like wearing cuter pieces to like go to bed or just like lounge around in, because I want it to become a habit. Like of, okay, I only go for the cute pieces, cozy, comfy pieces versus the same holy sweats that I've been having for 10 years or, you know,
well,
t-shirt.
To start, I was telling someone, throw all that stuff away.
I do, and then I eventually
10-year-old sweats, just throw them out.
I eventually accumulate more. So I'm just like, but yeah, so like when
everything is like a future pajama or lounge.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So okay, so you're not going for Instagram model. Did you have breast augmentation?
No. Mm-mm.
So what did you?
I thought about it, but
okay.
Yeah, I thought about it only because of I don't have projection, if you know what I mean. So like if I'm turned to the side and I wear certain shirts, it's like flat and then full. But from the front, it's nice and full. And so I'm always like, depending on the tops that I wear. But a part of me, I'm just like,
but
I don't know.
It has a different body. Everybody stacked in the boobs. You know what I mean? I don't think, and I personally, I don't think everybody has to be. I think that just like they have models who are petite, they consider average and then tall. I'm sure that they've told you this. I think it's refreshing for everyone to see something that kind of looks like them. Right. Everyone have big boobs. I mean, some people have just a nice, modest, whatever. Some people are ample and they're not even a large person. They're small, but they've got an ample bosom. And, you know, everyone's different. So I think it's nice to kind of keep your natural self because that's how you were made and you are beautiful.
And that I totally agree with. I feel like nothing's wrong with, you know, being natural and whatever. But it was for me, you know, like I understand that people may look at me and be like, okay, well, she's my body type and things like that. But if I'm not happy whenever I'm putting on certain clothes, then, but I've always, I don't know, like the whole foreign substance always scared me because I was just always afraid that my body would reject it, which I know like the percentage, I don't know how high it is, but I'm like, just my luck, I'll be that 1 out of 10% or 1 out of 9 people or 10 people who, you know, the implant doesn't like take or whatever, you know? And so I don't want to take that chance. That's one of the reasons why I haven't like done it yet. And I don't know, I'm just getting to that point to where I'm like, do I like really want it? Because if I really wanted it, which I do, but it's like how bad, because I would have been like done it if I thought it was like a serious thing, you know? So I don't know. I teeter-totter with it here and there. Not often, but
so let's talk about your the BBL in just a second, but I have one more. What would we be surprised? Okay, who would we be surprised to know that you are friends with on YouTube? Like, is there, because we've seen, I think in our vlogs, we've seen some of your circle. Is there someone on YouTube that you're friends with that is kind of like, maybe it's never come up on a YouTube video, that people would be like, oh wow, you're friends with that person, or you know that person?
No, honestly, no, not really.
So no one. Okay, so you don't really do a whole lot of YouTubers.
No, I mean, it's not that I don't want to. I mean, the ones that I've come up with, those have been like my main friends. I mean, I'm cool with like Timothy De La Ghetto. Like I remember I told my mom I was watching Wild 'N Out, and I'm like, I'm cool with him. And she was like, really? But I mean, like, we don't have a friendship to where I can like, call, any, well, I guess I can, but like we haven't spoken like that or hung out since beauty event. I mean, well, influencer events and stuff like that. But like Tim, some of the like T Pendel,
what about like BeautyCon and stuff? BeautyCon, I'm sure, did not happen this year.
no, it didn't.
Everything online this year?
Honestly,
was it virtual or just nothing? Yeah, it was just
nothing.
Wow. I can't wait for stuff to come back. I'm just like, Lord, please help stuff come back. So let's pivot just a little bit. So how did we get in contact with each other? I think that's kind of an interesting story. Do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of high level. You guys know, some of you who are here in the chat, I see some of my followers in the chat who are also some followers of yours. Okay. I had gotten this is very common in the reaction community. I got a DM and so I got a DM and somebody dropped me some tea basically. And I don't know why they sent it to me, other than the fact that I've done a few Missy videos. You're not like every week, or it's sporadic. But I don't know why they dropped it to me, but they did, and I looked into it, and I proceeded with developing a video about it, and I maybe put the video out. It was out for about an hour, and I was talking to a friend on the phone, and I was just like, Missy Lynn just sent me a DM. Just like, she's like, Missy who? And I said, Missy Lynn, my video I just put out, she just sent me a DM. And I'm like, oh my God. So I read the DM, and you were just as kind as you are right now, kind of explained to me a high level situation kind of. And I immediately took the video down. I didn't feel right about it. Because most of you guys know, I'm not in the business of exposing. I mean, I talk about tea all day, but I typically am not the channel that's going to be dropping. But normally if I'm looking at videos, I may just notice something someone else doesn't. And that's kind of the Virgo in me. Mm-hmm. Have that eagle eye, or I'm just hearing certain things. But you were so nice and gracious. And I kind of came from the perspective too, that if, I've been in that situation before, and I would have loved for someone to have entertained my phone call, and they didn't. And I took the video down, but since then, we've been in contact a little bit, but not, I didn't want to seem like a troll. I didn't want you to be a weirdo or something.
No, I definitely appreciate it. And that kind of goes back into just why it's so hard to be in a position where you can share freely. Mm-hmm. Because of course I mean, for me, I'm like, friendships for me, I take very serious. I'm open to befriending anyone if you're nice, if you're genuine, if your intentions are pure, and you have my best interest at heart. And I was telling you before how sometimes subscribers, they overstep boundaries, and a lot of them, most of the times, well, I won't say a lot, but a good handful are weirdos. And I say weirdos because so like, as an example, when your video dropped, this was a subscriber that I had been in communication with for the past 2 years.
Yeah, listen to this really closely, everybody who's watching right now.
So I receive a DM because like my DMs on Instagram, or like I have like a request section, and then I have for the people that I follow, and like my priority or my primary. And so I'm checking my like DM request, and I get a notification. I'm sorry. This was another subscriber. So the one person that I was talking to, she pops up and she's like, "Hey Missy, I came across this video. You might want to check it out." So I'm like, okay. And I think at this point, it may have been like maybe 11, 12 during the day. I literally just woken up and I watched the video and I'm like, okay, like I can always reach out to you. But then after I reached out and we kind of put two and two together, the person that brought it to my attention was the person that dropped the information. And this is someone that, one, I have been in communication with for 2 years, and two,
Can you believe this?
I like literally almost had them at my 30th birthday party around my friends, my family, people that I wholeheartedly, genuinely care about. I would literally go to war for my people. And so for like, after experiencing that, I'm like, one, people have no boundaries. Two, it makes me like, it kind of taints like the whole befriending subscribers in a sense. And I mean, even just having regular friends, because you never know like the level of just pettiness that people will actually go through to like try to expose people or like drop tea about situations, or it could be about whatever. But it's really weird. And I'm like, okay, so you messaged me to tell me that this video is out, there's a link or whatever, and then I find out it's you and I ask you about it, and I'm just immediately blocked. And so the part that like really just upset me is the fact that like she genuinely came out of concern, like, you should check this video out, da, 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 da. And I'm
She didn't
like,
expect that you and I would talk. And before she blocked me, I messaged her and was like, FYI, I spoke to Missy and we've compared notes. Within seconds, like she had either blocked me or did something to dismantle her account. And I was just like, but I guess what it taught me too, I mean, I'm not a journalist, but in a way, I've kind of become a little bit of a journalist, and it is my responsibility to fact check information. And I did fact check what she'd sent me. I even kind of did some nosing around just to make sure there wasn't like anything more that I needed to know to really not stick my nose into anything that was, you know, but there was really nothing. So I wasn't sure if this was a whole nothing situation or just a random something. But I did feel bad because you are a channel that I really do like, and I knew I shouldn't have done it. So I do feel bad because I almost feel like, why even, you know what I mean? Like she really didn't have to trust me because I did it. You know, I knew I shouldn't have done it and I did it anyway, but I was also kind of like running with the story, if you will. But it also taught me that there's so many stories out here. If you don't feel good about something, not just because you're trying to protect someone because you like them, but just, you know, maybe find a story, right? And it doesn't mean that because I do a story on someone, I don't like them. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I also knew how it felt from another situation that had happened to myself and my husband. So, but in any case, I appreciated the you know, us being able to make a connection.
yeah, definitely.
When two together, so that I guess you could spare yourself of somebody who really didn't need to be like in your circle. So yeah, that's how we met, everyone. But I guess maybe since we're on that topic, maybe talk to us a little bit more about reaction videos. That you sent me a video and you were talking about some of, I mean, you were talking from your own experience, but you were talking about some things that were going on in the community at the time. This was like 6, 7 years ago. It was kind of a little bit of a reaction video, if you will, Missy, you know, kind of did your own reaction. But tell me how you feel. I mean, I think commentary is really important and is good for us to share our ideas. how did you feel if you've watched any, even since we've talked, of the reaction videos that you've seen, maybe that I did, or reaction videos that you've seen? Do you think they help? Do you think they hurt? What do you think?
Okay, honestly, I like reaction videos. It depends on what the topic is. Because oftentimes I get on YouTube, I upload and I go about my way, unless I know like my friends are uploading, and then I'll watch their videos. I'll do the swipe up, log in, comment or whatever, and support. The problem that I have with a lot of reaction videos, more oftentimes than not, people will run to create a video and they don't have all of their facts. They don't fact check. Like they just kind of hearing, what's kind of happening about whoever they're making the video about, and they formulate their own opinion. Now, I don't mind if a reaction video is done based on content that we as influencers put out. I just think that it's important to know your boundaries and have respect, because at the end of the day, it could easily be you that, someone is doing a reaction video about, or, exposing you, or, things like that. So I think that it's very important to just understand boundaries. Don't cross lines, like speak on the topic at hand and keep it at that. Don't try to like insert little tidbits or whatever, because then that's how you kind of start that domino effect. Oh, well, this person said this in their reaction video, so it must be true. And it's like, that's how rumors get started. It's very important to go to the source itself and get details and facts, because I'm like, everything that could possibly be out there about me, just come to me, come ask me. Like people try to fill in the gaps, and it's like, it's almost my fault, but it's not a bad thing on my behalf, because I only give but so much, and I leave enough room, just enough room to have gaps filled in, assumptions filled in. And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not. Because sometimes I'm just like, damn, like I don't even have a voice. I can't even like really, which I guess I can, but I just feel like it's like almost not having that etiquette. Like you want to just hop on and defend yourself, but it's like, for what? Because then something else happens months later, then you have to defend yourself again and keep defending yourself. But I mean, there's things out there that is absolutely not true about me, and I kind of have to just sit back and deal with it, because I don't have a voice. I feel like as influencers, a lot of times we don't have a voice when it comes to like people kind of formulating opinions, rumors, shit like that. And that part can be very frustrating, like when it comes to like reaction channels. But if you guys are just reacting on content that we put out, okay, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Your perception of this video is going to be different than the other person's perception.
Do you help sell your video? I think sometimes it can like, oh, I didn't know Missy put a video out, or it's, oh, I didn't even know that channel exists. Or do you think it helps sell your channel sometimes, or even in the negative? I mean, because your videos that you did, I mean, people were shocked. I mean, the general comment section, I think when you and Jayla, that whole situation, people were, what, Missy? Like, okay, don't mess with Missy now. Like, we're happy that they saw you with a little bit of like, okay, Missy, and just standing up for yourself, telling your side of the story. It was just a different type of video than they're used to seeing you do. So I feel like maybe some of your core audience was just like, okay, I know this is some drama, but I'm here for it because that's my girl, and how, people were picking sides.
Yeah, pertaining to that particular situation, it was different. It was very different. Something that, I mean, I've gotten into with like, I think one other influencer in my entire YouTube career, and that was like years and years and years ago, and it didn't even get as far as creating videos. I did gain followers, but at the same time, I'm not one to like, and I guess some people will probably say, well, look at the glass as half full than, you know, half empty or whatever. But I look at the negative connotation around the entire thing. And so I couldn't even be happy with the amount of views and the amount of subscribers that I gained, you know?
Friendship.
Yeah.
I think when I started watching your channel, you were just coming, maybe you had been on a trip, you had just gone back to, you were busy as I don't know what. You had just come back from a trip. I think you had gone to LA, you had a whole bunch of stuff to do, and then you jumped on a plane, maybe, and then you went to Dallas because you were checking on your house and you were moving from LA to Dallas. That's kind of when I picked up really following your channel. But I think I told you maybe you were coming from the UK and it was a trip. You were on a trip doing something, but you had met with a subscriber. You and the subscriber had chilled, gone out, had a really good time. You guys were supposed to go out another day.
No, she wasn't a subscriber.
She was a friend. Okay, she's another friend.
Yeah.
And she basically ghosted you the second day. You were like, what happened? And I just loved how you kept that footage in, because you could have not included that and we would have never known it happened. But I just funny because someone ghosted Missy Lynn, and not that that can't happen to you, but you could have made it not happen for us because we would have known. And I liked how genuine you were about just real shit happening to, you know, like, okay, this is a weird trip, guys. I'm ready to get home. It was so real, and it was fun.
And you see, if it, like, honestly, if I could create content like that without the boundaries being crossed, without the negative choosing side, and people just really just looking at it as this type of shit happens all the time, you know, like you may be invited to an outing, or you might have two friends and they go out to eat and they don't say shit to you about it. And you're like, oh shit, where's my invite? Like shit like that happens in real life. Excuse my French.
Right.
And I tried around that time to not make my life look picture perfect and give a little bit of, okay, this is the real shit that's happening around me. I'm out the military, I'm moving. And I think that around that time, well, one, it did kind of hurt that person's feelings. So I did apologize. I did remove. And then it was explaining why. Just like family stuff that had happened. Huh?
Did she have an emergency or something?
Yeah. It was an emergency type thing. Okay. And, you know, I didn't see anything wrong with what I did. I mean, I made it as tasteful as possible. But, you know, she felt some type of way. So the friend I removed it. But then other people, I think just kind of reading comments and stuff, it probably made that person feel worse than what she was actually feeling, or maybe looked at it in a different light. Like, I think maybe if the comments weren't there, she may have not had looked at it like, oh, I'm trying to expose like that situation. But I'm like, no, girl, I was waiting for you in the room, and 4 or 5 hours passed. I'm like, shit, I'm not going.
Do you think the comment section, it's almost like you can't not have a comment section. I mean, if you don't have,
because it honestly it will intensify situations, like, and that's the reason why I'm very specific when it comes to the type of content that I put out there, because I get it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but oftentimes more than not, you'll hear people say, oh, you know, these influencers act like celebrities and they think they're celebrities and they think they're better than everybody. And that's not always the case. But then you turn around and you flip it, and we get treated like celebrities in a sense when it comes to the gossip, the comments, the, you know, people degrading certain people. And that can become a lot. It's almost like sometimes the comment sections of certain videos, like not just mine, but like other people, which I don't really get a lot of negative comments on my videos, but like the few that I do, and then watching other people's like videos and comments, it's almost like tapping into the shade room, to be completely honest. Mm-hmm. You know, conversations are being started within the comment section. People forget and lose focus of what the video is actually about.
It sometimes it has nothing to do with what the video is about. It's just like, oh yes, I've been looking for you.
Exactly.
Over to someone else's channel, and you was talking some crap to my friend, or you said something. It's so funny. But I think one thing I realized now is that my subscribers love having a chat room. They like having a voice, like saying about having a voice. These subscribers want a voice too. They want to be able to express their opinion. So I feel like almost everything I do on YouTube, I do with a premiere, with a live, or whenever I post, they've got a chat, they've got the comments, because they want to be able to give their opinion. And I get it, because where I never really was someone who ever commented, I turned on my camera one day because I was watching a video that I was just like, hey, anybody out here, are you watching this? And these are my thoughts on what happened. And that's kind of how I started doing reactions.
Okay.
That's how the subscribers feel. And when that's taken away from them, they do not like it when comments and things like that are not open. So it's good you don't get a lot of negative. And maybe the people who do feel negatively feel respectful enough that maybe it's just like, well, I don't really have anything nice to say, and I'm just clicking off and I'm going to go elsewhere. But I think it is, I think it's a good thing sometimes even to hear the negative, because you're not always going to get the positive comments. Sometimes when I get a negative comment, as long as it's constructive, because I do think about it, it is thought provoking. To not just take it for granted that everybody out here loves me and everybody out here loves what I do. I think one video that I put up of yours, someone said something, it was nice, like, or someone said, oh, it was a great video or something, but something like, but was it fake love or something like that? And I was just kind of like, well, no, I just fan like you're a fan, just because
fake love. Like,
well, I guess maybe they felt like because I'm even just doing a video. I think sometimes people it's a bash. But because, just because I'm not showing, just because I choose to create a video doesn't mean, or I don't express myself the same way that you do, doesn't mean that I don't appreciate, that content or that content creator. I guess there's all different ways of looking at it. Okay, so tell me, I guess, just about, I know we've been on almost for an hour, and I don't want to take up like way more of your time. But I guess someone did ask me to ask you, number one, the photo that I used for the flyer, I thought maybe it was Fenty because I think I remembered it in one of your Fenty hauls, but I think asking about your boots or your shoes or something in that, and where did you get them?
Are they talking about the one with the leopard?
Okay, maybe they were asking about your boots in that picture of you on this. And then the black robe, I was thinking maybe it was Fenty.
Yeah, black robe was from Fenty, and then the black boots is from Forever 21.
Okay. And then someone was asking, how do you fit it all in with YouTube? And I guess with what you're doing with Instagram, I mean, your nephew, who you were really momming basically, is now in college. So you have a college young man. And then as far as little ones or anything like that, you are free and clear from that at the moment. So you really have the ability to kind of be dedicated to your job at this moment.
Yes.
Like, you have the ability to kind of do what you focus on, your career or whatever. Tell us how you manage that a little bit.
So I actually had this conversation with some family members a few weeks ago. So where it may look like, okay, so I consider myself a part-time but full-time influencer. And so what I mean by that is, yes, YouTube and Instagram, being a social media influencer, is my full-time job. However, I have set myself up to where I work smarter, not harder, and I'm able to work less and still make more, or make equivalent to what I was making. Thank you.
Is the goal? Yes.
Thank you. That's the goal.
Yes.
So I remember I was telling Darian this a few days ago. I remember being in the military and running with some of my influencer friends who were bringing in, you know, $7,000-8,000 a month, you know, and we go to the mall and they're able to buy these handbags and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, girl, I can't drop $3,000 on a handbag, but I could go to Michael Kors and get me you know, 2 handbags for $300 or $400, right?
Nice temporary style. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. And so I remember being at dinner with them and like we're talking about like how much we make and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, dang, like y'all are inspiration. I can't wait to bring that type of money in. Like at this point, I'm like kind of fresh, just starting YouTube. And I'm still in the Air Force. And I made a goal, like I'm gonna, you know, I'm working to get to this level. I want to be able to bring in 6 figures a year, and that's my goal. You know, I feel like everyone has their own goal, and then when you, so yeah, so I ended up reaching that.
Want to live off of, or what you, or what you want your the rewards of your efforts in your career to look like. There's nothing with that.
Exactly. And so I made it happen, and I'm at a point where I'm still making it happen, but I'm not having to work as hard. I'm not having to. Now it can be a double-edged sword because I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, and I'm not in a rush to do anything more because I'm like, okay, I was in the military for 8 years. I remember having to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning just for work. And then I was going to school, and then I was editing on my lunch break. And then I would come home and edit some more to where my entire week was full. And now I get to enjoy, I get to enjoy being lazy.
Wow.
And I've never been a quote unquote lazy person. And I wouldn't say I'm lazy. I'm chilling. That's how I'm chilling, because I have worked my ass off for so many years, and I just want to chill right now. And maybe sometime this year, maybe next year, I might get that little that little rev up again, and I'm like, it's a new goal I want to achieve. But right now, I remember setting this goal, and I'm able to move how I want to move. I wake up whenever I want to wake up, and I'm able to enjoy everything that I've worked hard for, and I don't want to rush it, because even if, let's say, you know, one person is going to work every single day, and nothing's wrong with working 9 to 5. I did it for years. Like nothing's wrong with it, but it would be really hard to hear someone that's working 9 to 5 or whatever and be like, dang, you lazy. Like you just sitting down and you could be doing so much more. And you know, like I remember having a conversation and I'm like, wait, I don't think I'm lazy. I just think that I'm enjoying what I've worked hard for. Because why else are you going to work every single day and working for somebody else? Like you eventually want to get to a point to where you're able to chill, right?
Right.
And trust me, I remember going to work pissed off every single morning. Like, I can't wait till this shit over. Damn, I don't want to go to work. Like I hated it. But I would never like look at somebody who finally like reached that goal and then look at them and be like, oh, well, not doing nothing. Like, what you do all day? Shit, I'm making money. That's what I'm doing.
Right. I mean, you've set up something where you don't have, like you said, you can work smarter, not harder. You know, what people don't know is, you know, YouTube is unlimited residual income. If all of a sudden someone decides to dig in the crates and go to a video that you posted a month ago or 5 years ago, and it all of a sudden goes viral, you're going to get paid for that.
Exactly.
That's one of the great things about YouTube. It's kind of like unlimited residual. They don't cap it out, as far as I know. I haven't gotten there yet to even have a conversation about hitting a cap on anything. But yeah, you can make as much or as little as you want. So that's good. And then also you have relationships with brands that your face, and like you said, your lip gloss just came back. I mean, that's really a gift that keeps on giving, because that's kind of a residual.
It's royalties.
They're bringing it back. And Missy, they're probably like, is Missy okay? Yeah, Missy, I just went to her channel. Yeah, she just posted a video. She's current. Let's talk to her. Do they have do new artwork for it? Do they have you want to do like a new campaign for it? Like, are you doing some like a new photo campaign on your channel or on Instagram or anything to promote it?
Honestly, we haven't discussed it. I mean, like nothing has changed about the packaging or anything of that nature since it came out. But I remember just being hit up by the brand and, you know, it's like, oh, hey, I owe you a payment for royalties. And I honestly, I forgot that I was still making money off of that. And it's like, hey, we got a check for you. And I'm like, hey, hold up. Last time I heard anything about Cocoa Bean was like 2016, 17. You got a check? What? In 2021? And she's like, yeah, like the vendor and everything's back to normal. So we're gonna start producing, you know, the lip gloss again. And I'm like, yeah, shit, send me my check real quick. Hurry, send me my check.
Yes,
and then, you know, but I mean, that just goes to show, like, even after all this time, I'm still making money. Right. So I'm like, I don't want to get to a point to where I'm like super complacent, but I'm literally at a point to where I'm just chilling now. Like, I'm not trying to, I mean, of course, being a millionaire and stuff, that's always the goal, but I'm really just trying to live in the moment now. I'm trying to enjoy what I have right now. Because if my focus, if I'm like driven by money and I'm just money hungry and money just rules the world, my world, like I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to just be able to enjoy like the now. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm making money, but if you're making money and then the goal constantly is just more money, more money, more money, like when are you really living to enjoy that money?
Right. Money is definitely not everything. What about, so I did kind of touch on personal life a little bit. I don't want to not ask the question. So where are you right now? I mean, are you in something serious? Are we going to see, like, are you, sometimes you'll never know when you're getting engaged. It just kind of happens. You know, we love to see those Instagram videos when someone gets like surprised out of their mind with the beautiful engagement. But are you in something serious? Are you in love right now? Are you thinking about the future? You know, family, like your own family, making your nephew / son a big brother, big cousin.
So I said it a few weeks ago, probably the end of 2022, maybe 23.
Okay, so on the horizon, far too future.
Well, yeah, a little mini Missy gonna be running around, hopefully. But
it's a great thing, Missy. I've only got one daughter, and really, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, you see from Parenthood, even with your nephew and your niece, it's not easy, and you jumped right in with teenagers. But it is a really good thing to experience, even in just at least once, just to have one. It's beautiful.
I'm scared, girl.
Never been stretched before, like mentally, physically, everything.
I'm scared. I'm absolutely terrified.
But it's okay. Just do it anyway, because it's a great thing. It's
okay,
a great
rebel. What do you mean? Just do it anyway.
I'm gonna
be the person that forget the damn child in the store. I'll be like, God damn it! I thought I brought my child.
You know you won't. You're very responsible. You know, I never went into a gas station when my daughter was still like an infant. I always got gas. Either my husband filled up my car or I would go on the weekends. I never stopped at gas stations because I was always afraid of when you hear people get carjacked or babies get stolen at gas stations. I never got gas, like had to take my daughter out the car to go in. I just never even bought gas with her in the car because I was kind of sometimes when you do have a baby, when they're very young, you develop like kind of like a weird thing about something. Sometimes you'll probably never even tell anybody about it. That was things is that I just didn't take her to gas stations because I was kind of like, I had a weird thing that I thought someone was going to try and steal my baby. But it's weird, but that's just your protection. That's kind of your mom thing kicking in to protect your child. So, but it's a wonderful thing.
I'm sure. I mean, like, so even with having Darian and P, when they lived with me, of course I was like still traveling here and there. And they literally did exactly what most teenagers would do. They, you know, last minute, hey, I forgot this folder at school. I need this. I'm like, I'm on the other side of town. Hey, we got out of school early. I need you to come home. Damn it. Okay. Then it's like, I don't want to travel because then what if they need me? But then whenever I do finally travel, they calling me back to back to back. And like, they're not calling me with some, oh, it's an emergency, da 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 da. They're either fighting. They want to know if they can Uber eat some shit, like constantly back and back.
When you take away Darian's phone, I mean, those were some great vlogs. Someone down here is saying that you and Wendell would make great parents, Missy, just so you know. People love some Wendell, okay?
Thank y'all. Ooh, y'all put me in the hot seat. They got me sweating.
Vlogs though, because we saw you struggling with that. Like, it was kind of like you all of a sudden became a parent
overnight,
switching stuff around with your schedule. You let us see a lot of that. I remember Vlogmas kind of changed a lot that year. You had gone through a lot and really flipped it to mom mode. It was, and then gosh, when you had to plan and take phones away, it was funny, not funny. Like, it was hilarious. Like, look at Missy taking phones away.
I was taking phones. It got to the point to where they were sneaking. They were on the freaking game system on Instagram. I'm like, okay, so I got to take power cords too, put the power cords in my trunk. They still find a way somehow to get on social media. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, y'all.
It's crazy when you have to just be like a step ahead. Like, you took this, but okay, I didn't realize that they could get on with that. Now I gotta. It's a lot. Yes.
If I showed you, I literally have a bag in my closet downstairs. If I showed you the amount of little trap phones I found around the house after they left, our spare phones, at least 5 or 6 phones. Like, I would get phones, I would take their phones. I guess they would tell their friends to bring spare phones to school. Well, probably more so P. I'm not gonna really put it on Darian because he knew about it, but P, it's just like, you take her cell phone, she got a new cell phone hidden somewhere around the house. I'm like, damn, y'all don't, like, y'all just some badass kids.
One time you either got her a wig or got her hair weaved. I was like,
oh yeah, for her birthday.
Like, I was like, you just started something now.
Girl, $200 nail set. And I'm like, that's why I would get so upset when I'm like, all I'm asking y'all to do is like clean up, no food upstairs. I mean, some may say I was strict, but I mean, Darian, he definitely appreciates it now because he's like, okay, I see what you're talking about. Because in college, he went through sharing a space with a roommate, and he's like, he don't wash his dishes. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. You didn't wash yours either. Like, what you thought was gonna happen? Mold, insects, stuff like that. So, you know, it was honestly a great learning experience for me as well. It definitely taught me patience, but it really, like, literally, I had to kick into mom mode like very, very quickly. More so just to like kind of mold and set an example. And I think too, that's what kind of slowed me down with YouTube, because my focus was no longer YouTube. I'm like, I'm a real life like guardian right now. Like, their well-being is in the palms of my hands. I have to make sure that they eat. I have to make sure that they're making good grades, get to school on time, you know, playing extracurriculars, studying for this test, that test, ensuring that ACTs come, you know, everything's scheduled for that, to ensure that they actually make something of themselves and they actually go off into the world and do something with their, you know, with their lives. So I'm proud. I'm very, very grateful and relieved that they're both doing really well right now, because child, it's been many, honestly, that's when it
makes you all the hard work or the love and the discipline and all of it makes what you did worth it. What do you feel, how do you feel too about, like, not just me, but even some of the people who are watching? We've watched so long, even though, like you said, we don't know everything, but we probably know a lot, or at least we know what was in the vlogs. How does that make you feel that people really have kept up with your story, like your life story, that it means something to them, or that they care enough to care something about you to kind of know about Oh yeah, that was when you went on that trip to
Right.
Greece or something, or this or that, that like we remember those things, and or we see the pivots in your life without you even really telling us. We just kind of see it happening. What do you think about people really being able to relate to you on that level and kind of knowing and remembering your story to that degree?
Yeah, so it's very heartwarming for me. And although like so when I started YouTube, I was looking for inspiration. I ended up inspiring people, and I'm told all the time, like, you inspired me, I aspire to be like you. And honestly speaking, like having subscribers like you guys, it really inspires me. And it makes me feel really good to know that there are people around the world who have never met me that I couldn't even pinpoint in a lineup. Like they or you guys have taken the time to get to know me in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
It's only based off of like what I've shared, and just really like take a liking into me, and to
Mm-hmm.
kind of see, okay, she's just like the girl next door, like my home girl that I call to like hang with, chill with. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I try to be as humble as possible because like I just feel like roles can reverse so quickly. I never treat anyone with disrespect unless I'm disrespected. That's the only time I'm rude. Actually, I'm very territorial when it comes to just people in general. Like even if I don't know you and someone's being mean, or they could have said something better, or like they're being nice, nasty, like I'm very overprotective in that capacity, whether I know you or not. And I've always been the type to like try to take up for people, like, okay, you don't have to be an asshole about it or whatever. So just to kind of have like basically an army behind me, people who support me. And of course, I expect people who support me as much as you guys do to call me out on my shit when something don't seem right, you know, like hold me to that high regard.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, I'm just very big on boundaries. And
Right.
until I share, I mean, like my family, that's one of those boundaries, you know, like y'all say what y'all want about me. You talk about me, my niece, my nephews, my loved ones. Like that's a whole different ball game. As I'm sure as a mom, you know, you can probably feel that, you know, but that friends, family, I genuinely care about people around me. And so I'm like, ain't nobody signed up for this except for me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments. Of course, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not seeing everything. But some people have come in late. One thing I wanted to ask, and we talked about it before, I'm going to have this interview posted on my channel on
okay.
YouTube. So Missy said that she would save this for us. So if you just hit the save button, and then somehow I'll get it. And then people are saying stuff like, Missy, you're so dope. I don't know if the chat will come over when you save it, but there's a lot of really nice comments. People are saying a lot of really great things. They're noticing the positivity. I'm glad that we were able to do this on like the last day of Women's History Month.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I appreciated like us being able to make a connection and the friendship, and you know, really just maybe forming a relationship as a new ally, and you know,
Yes, girl.
in my network, because it was weird how we met, but I think, you know, sometimes things are just meant to be.
Things happen for a reason.
Things happen for a reason, and that something needed to be revealed, and maybe new relationships needed to be formed and things like that. So,
And trust me, and whenever I'm ready to reveal it, you're gonna have the first exclusive.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to see if there's any, what are some of, oh, okay. So Ashley, she's getting in a question. The one question I can read, she's saying, what are some of your non-negotiables?
When it comes to what? Friendships, relationships.
I don't want to put it in your mouth, but like a non-negotiable, I guess
Well,
maybe it comes to mind as a non-negotiable.
See, I'm already thinking like brand deal. So I'm trying to like get myself out of that mindset. Non-negotiable, morals in a sense.
Okay.
Compromising anything that, you know, I feel strongly about loyalty. Like, if you show me that you are just not, because I feel like I'm loyal by default, you know, until I mean, and even with being always having the short end of the stick, I feel like I'm still loyal. I still, in the back of my mind, always have this, which I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm weak, but it's just like most people will probably be like, well, why do you care? Like, why do you still think about this relationship or friendship? Because it's like, when you were literally, if you were ever my friend, you are very, very special to me, and memories and everything, just, it don't go away.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that she said brand deals.
Okay.
Non-negotiables with brand deal, not being able to have creative control in a sense. I don't mind working with, sorry, I don't mind working with the brand and coming up with something, but I need to, like, I know my audience the best, and I know what's going to resonate and what's not. So anytime a brand is like, well, do it this way, put the brand name in the title, da da da. It's like, why? Like if we're working on a partnership, they're going to see the product, they're going to know the name, they're going to know description box, everything. So I would say creative control. I would also say like non-circumvent clauses, where depending on the brand or agency, I learned that the hard way a long time ago, where like if you work with like third party agencies or whatever, and they put you in contact with the brand, oftentimes more than not, there are non-circumvent clauses within contracts. Most people don't read them, and I'm a Virgo, nosy, overanalyze everything. I read everything to the T. And non-circumvent means that if they establish that connection with between you and that brand, that you are not allowed to work with that brand without their approval for X amount of time. So like, I remember working with one agency, and there was a non-circumvent clause when it came to me working with Sephora.
So like, it's that relationship. So maybe in the corporate environment, some of you guys have signed non-competition agreements where you are procuring business or you're working with business, and for a period of time, like you said, you cannot work with that business because you came to know that business or those contacts through that.
And which is, you know,
right. It makes sense, but yeah.
It makes sense, but you miss the opportunity of making money whenever you're an influencer. I get it from the brand or agency, you know, so that's an absolute non-negotiable. Like,
so is that a situation where you negotiate like this is a one-off?
Yeah, but sometimes they can still add, so like exclusivity and, you know, being non-exclusive, that's totally different than a non-circumvent.
Okay.
So that's something that's very important.
Look for that in your contracts, or is that something request? Like, oh, I see you have a non-circumvent clause. I don't work with those. Before management, like whenever I was on my own, like before my last manager, and then in between the time that I left the last manager and got with this management, I was doing all of my negotiation and reviewing the contracts, because over time you kind of learn the verbiage, and if you have like a great attorney to like review your contracts, you go through like the whole redlining process where they might mark off like verbiage needs to be changed, X, Y, and Z. And so when my lawyer or manager would send me like contracts back, I wouldn't just like leave it on my manager to review it and then I sign. I actually sit there and I read the red lines, like, okay, this is what the original contract said. This is what my lawyer is changing. Well, why is this being changed? And then I would question, well, what does this word mean? Or like, what are they trying to do with verbiage in this area, finding a loophole? So I was able to teach myself what to look for. And so non-circumvent is definitely something that, no, like unless it's like maybe a 3-month, type of clause as far as term with the non-circumvent, that would probably be the only time that it's like, okay, it's because it also within 3 months, it gives me time to work with like other brands, and I don't feel like it's so like stacked on top of one another. Sephora or Piglet, like Walmart or whatever.
So yeah, that I'm really open to quite a bit. It's just more so about rates. And like I said, working smarter, not harder. A lot of times brands want you to oversell. Like I remember having a brand and they wanted 12 Instagram posts within a month on top of YouTube videos, bunch of Instagram stories. And I'm like, okay,
Friday or something like.
right. And I'm like, okay, for what you offering to pay, absolutely not. You could get an Instagram story and maybe one post, but you're not getting 12 posts. Like one, that's overkill and that's oversell.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Unless you're someone who posts like that, there, like you're someone who posts a lot often. But if you're someone who puts up one post a day or 2 posts a day, 12 posts is extremely noticeable. Like, Missy, what's really going on here?
That's 3 times a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
To this one brand. Like, you better be, first off, you better be coming with a shit ton of money for me to even.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, and honestly speaking, there is not even a brand out there that I would even feel comfortable posting just like with my everyday household stuff, you know, like things that I actually go out and buy on my own. I mean, besides iced coffee, that'd probably be the only thing. Like if I got a contract with Burger King and I had to post iced coffee. That would literally, or Sweet Red. Like,
you know, I thought of immediately, you know how some people do a 9 box on their news feed and you go to their page and you see those first 9 photos and it makes one picture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be that's the only thing I could think of why you would post 9-12 things back to back is because you broke it to a 9 box and let them get like an exclusive for a couple of days.
Okay.
With a 9 box view.
That's smart. That's actually,
people are not going to think like you just lost your mind.
Girl, you onto something.
You know me and my social media like brainstorming
with your whole HR background and stuff.
I don't know how I fell into this whole YouTube thing, but I do absolutely love it. It is something, despite everything, like the negativity, there's amazing positives because there's so many great people out here to talk to. It does make me feel like my brain gets to kind of think and brainstorm and come up with stuff because I do enjoy social media quite a bit.
That's actually
but that
really good.
What to do with one of your brands?
I may have to. I'm gonna tell my manager about. That's actually really good. So keep that in mind. Like whenever you're working with brands, like the whole that's actually a really good idea. Like exclusive to that particular brand.
Yeah, you want like a Missy Lynn that can give you like a like a 9 grid. They call it like a 9 grid or whatever. And you can how you do those on there's certain programs where you can do those.
Smart. I never thought about that.
Maybe every hour and it's coming through and then every hour something's dropping and then you get the full
full picture. That's smart, girl. Look at you.
I'm getting my Kris Jenner on. Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead and do some consulting.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people have been asking me certain things and I don't know if that would ever happen. Because I would really need to fall back on someone who's really doing it to really get a full picture of how to. But I really do like helping people come up with strategies to be successful. I think that's kind of one of my gifts.
You gave me a lot of great advice during our pre-call just on YouTube in general. I'm like, yeah, I've seen it, but I didn't know all of this. So you're aware. And I can honestly say that you're more aware than I am. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, Missy, it has been so amazing talking to you. I think I got through almost all the questions I wanted to ask you, but I feel so much more we could talk to you about. So if you ever want to talk again, people were asking about business and things like that. So if you ever wanted to come back, and maybe talk a little bit more business, maybe, just some keys to success, for people who are out here who have small channels or trying to level up. You know, you have over 500,000 subscribers. You're doing very well. And that's just on one channel.
Thank
You
you.
probably have a reach of at least 1 million if you were to total, well over 1 million. If you total your Instagram and both of your YouTube channels, you're looking at well over 1 million in terms of like subscriber follower reach. So, I mean, you do have a significant reach out here. You know, if you ever wanted to talk business, and maybe we could definitely field some calls and see what people want to know out here.
Definitely.
How some of the people out here are followers and subscribers, to kind of pick your brain and hear from you, even what that looks like in terms of responsibility of people who reach out to you. Like, how busy are you on social media? Do you find yourself super busy on social media, or do you manage it pretty well?
I manage it pretty well, and I have a team that they honestly, like, they make my life so much easier. I have someone that does like most of like the scheduling and send the calendar invites. There's a program that we use that literally we just put input all of the brand deals with the creative brief, the concept, things like that. So I just have to go to the app, look at my scheduled content, create the content, and then upload. We have Google hard drives so everything is like a streamlined process for me. They've made my life so much easier. It'd be a little bit easier if I had an editor, because I could just focus on editing, but I have a those personalities that like territorial in a sense. Like I feel like I would have to like be over that person's back, and I don't want to micromanage, because
editing, the storytelling really is in the editing.
Right.
It really is. So it's kind of hard to give that up unless somebody kind of knows you a little bit, or I feel like it loses a little bit of its heart sometimes, editors, because then I've noticed when you see someone's stuff starts to change a little bit, it loses a little bit of its heart to me. You can tell when someone is now engaged to editor. I don't
exactly. Yeah, like everything about it kind of changes. Yeah, definitely. Did you want to open up the floor for Q&A, or did we have enough questions already?
Yeah, we can take some questions if you'd like to.
Okay, yeah, I have about, let's say, 20 minutes, because I want to watch Snowfall. So.
Okay. So someone is asking about Keisha Anderson. I don't know if you have anything that you want to share. I mean, guys, you can go to my channel if you want to hear my impressions on what's going on with Keisha, just from like a reaction video standpoint. But do you have any? I mean, you guys are. I mean, you have a. Not to compare apples and oranges. I don't want to seem like I'm doing that. You know, the presence that I see her is mostly on YouTube, so I don't know her Instagram. But do you have any? Do you have any opinions on what's going on with her right now? Yeah, I would just say, you know, Keisha, be strong. And
I mean, honestly,
you got this.
I don't have a lot to say. I just feel like everybody goes through relationship problems, things like that. Some people are more tolerable than others. Some people are willing to put up with more than others. So, I mean, I support any and everybody. If love is what you're fighting for, whatever love means, your definition, then if you like it, I love it. That's how I look at it.
It's got their own path, right? So it is what it is. But I think at the end of the day, all jokes aside, and like I said, from a reaction standpoint, it's well documented over on my channel. But I would say this: if someone chooses to be where they want to be, and that's what they feel is making them happy, you go right to it. You know what I mean? So someone is saying, great interview. I would like to ask Missy, did she really like the HelloFresh meal? Is it a no-go?
No.
HelloFresh.
Okay, so initially, whenever I first tried HelloFresh, I was like a little bit skeptical, because of course I'm used to just going to the store, you know, buying whatever I need to buy to cook. But I absolutely dread going to the store. Like, it's a whole process for me. And then it wasn't until I tried it for the first time where I was like, okay, this meal is actually really good. And then as I continued to work with them and just kind of noticing that I have the capability of choosing my meals and the prep time and all of that, their meals are so good.
Okay.
And I know that there's another subscription service where I think like if you're trying to meal prep, it comes already cooked for you.
Oh, okay.
But I personally, I enjoy being able to follow the recipes and cook, because like I've bought a few cookbooks, but I don't even like pull it out. But like having the meals sent to you and like literally the ingredients are pre-measured to a T, it makes life so much easier. Like I'm actually looking forward to the next box coming, because their food is actually really, really, really good.
I've heard for some people who are not really great cooks yet, or just don't have a lot of experience cooking, for them it makes them even feel like you can't cook. Or I thought you were a cook. I've seen you cooking.
I mean, I know how to cook some things, girl. I eat the same things over and over. I only know
it's full. You always have your
so you make it.
but not,
Well,
not,
at the end of the day, I need different ingredients to cook. When Mel cooks, when my parents come, they cook. So we have like a whole, like literally, you know, it's all, or like if people are over, like we need different seasonings for everybody, because not everybody's like into Cajun, you know. So we try to like keep everything stocked. But honestly speaking, I take it time, make it. Like sometimes I'll find recipes on Instagram that I try. I did this one like spicy chicken. It was like in a vlog a while ago. It was like this spicy chicken and rice, and I like I made it all fancy in like a cup shape. So I did that. It was really good. So with the HelloFresh, it actually is really, really, really good. And so like surprisingly, I got on Facebook and I actually had two friends that I was in the military with. This one guy and his daughter, they had their HelloFresh box, and they took a photo and was like daddy and me time, or daughter and me time type stuff. And then somebody else, huh?
That's sweet. So they tagged you on it?
No, it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. And so I commented and I was like, hey, I have a promo code if you want 12 free meals, because they were already using it. And they were so grateful for it, because like literally
promo code. Do you still have a promo code?
Let me
And
Back. It's
that
Missy Lynn 12.
Missy Lynn 12. Let me see if I can put that in there. Missy Lynn 12. Okay.
And if it doesn't work lowercase, try it all uppercase and
Okay.
then 12. But the food is really good. And also it really took me out of my comfort zone. Because certain things that I would not like, I've never been to like a Mexican restaurant. I've never been to a Mediterranean restaurant. Like certain foods I will not try unless I'm forced to try it. So using HelloFresh, it actually made me try things that was out of my comfort zone that I've never even thought about, putting recipes together or certain, like it's actually really good. So I personally say just try using the promo code. See how y'all like it. If y'all don't like it, there's no obligation. But it makes life a lot easier, especially like if you're tired and you just want to throw something together for the hubby and the daughter or hubby and the kids, girl. Or even if you're a single father and you have your kids for the weekend, that's a meal that you can like literally just throw in the pot. Everything's already pre-measured. You don't have to leave your house. They put it right in front of your doorstep and you start cooking.
Just cook. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry
about nasty. Sorry.
Do the cooking.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, do you miss the military? I guess quick.
Yeah.
Miss the military?
I do. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the structure to a certain extent. Like I do miss having like a schedule, and I try to put myself on a schedule, but I think my brain turned it off as soon as like, you don't have to report in, you don't have to wake up at this time. You've been doing it for, excuse me, you've been doing it for so long. Let's not try to get back, to that. So.
Right. What about, so someone's have handsome single male friends, Missy. So I don't know if this person is in the Dallas Metroplex, but asking, do you have any handsome single friends? Maybe a matchmaking type situation. None.
Girl, ignore him. Ignore him. He being funny. He is the single friend.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll all the way back, see if we can find something. Okay, we got the promo code, so we answered that question. Let's see. Is there an engagement ring? Is there an engagement ring?
What
no.
Engagement?
Okay. No. Let's see. What's your self-care routine? Can you give us a self-care routine real quick? I'm putting you on the spot.
Facial, soaking my feet, a massage.
I think you did a very good maintenance video. You did a maintenance video. Then you drew yourself a bath.
Yeah, girl. I haven't done that in a while. I need to like
those and share them, or and put some links or something.
Yeah.
When I post this, I'll put or maybe if you want to share some videos, I can put them down in the description box, maybe some ones that you'd want to share with the audience that kind of tie into some of these questions. Because if you're new, that can introduce you to Missy's channel, because she's got years of content. So if you're looking for someone to watch, it's not always watching like what just got posted yesterday. Sometimes it's really good to go back and like see someone's story. And she's got years of content for you to watch on YouTube. So I think it's fun to see people's progression, and also just to see people mature. I mean, there's been some people who I've started watching a few years ago, but then I realized like, oh wow, they've been posting since they were 19 or 20, and you kind of see them grow up over 10 years on YouTube. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
I've literally been on YouTube 10 years now. It makes 10 years this year.
That's been a long time.
Yep. I think my first video was posted 2011. Yeah. So
what if you would do a reaction for us?
I probably should do that, like a reaction video.
people react to their first YouTube video? It's been 10 years. Why don't you react to your first YouTube video?
I think I need to. I think I need to.
You could talk about your editing, your subject matter, your hairstyles, makeup, clothing. There's so much to talk about.
Oh my God. What do you recommend to use as far as like screen recording when doing a reaction?
I use StreamYard a little bit. I mean, you could also even just use your iMovie, kind of lay your video on as the base and maybe do a picture in picture. So you could play your video and then just film yourself while you're watching it and then just do a picture, just superimpose it as a picture in picture and edit it. You could do that. I mean, I used to do that. Now sometimes I just use like different softwares that have like a reaction cam. But I don't know that those are always the best. I mean, I think sometimes it is good to get like a clean shot of yourself because sometimes those softwares fail. Like I used one the other day and it kind of was spotty on me because it's web-based and it wasn't great quality. So I really didn't even want to put it out because I'm critical of myself too. If the quality is not great, unless I feel like I just have to put it out, I may just hold back on it because it's like I don't, I want things to look nice because I feel like my subscribers come and I want to give them a certain level of quality. And when stuff isn't good, I'm just kind of like, that's not good enough. I need to go back and do it, or maybe redo it.
I remember when like YouTube, man, didn't even focus on that. It was literally just picking up the camera and talking to the camera. Quality, all of that wasn't even like a prerequisite to be on YouTube and to actually film content and to have people like you. It was just like your personality and whatever it is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now it's so different. Like you have to have the best of the best. So people think, but you have to put in time and effort into your videos in order to be found,
Right. Quality is the substance. So if you're hearing me say that, that's not necessarily for you at this moment because like Missy's 10 years in, I'm 2 years in. So I put that on myself, but I think initially was just getting in that practice. I would say my first year was trying to not be so shy, staying on track with what my thoughts were and giving a clear, concise story. If I'm talking about something, stay on track with it and try to articulate it as best as I can in as short a period. Don't ramble on too much. Respect people's time, but also give them something entertaining to listen to or something informative. Like, are you one channel that I watch that kind of gives advice to YouTubers, it's like, what are you bringing to the table to your audience? Like, even if you're vlogging, give them something. So are you entertaining or are you educating? So am I showing you how to do something or am I offering you some information about something good, a sale, a product, maybe a technique I use to do my hair or something like that? It's not all about selling, but more so, are you giving someone a takeaway from this interaction that you're having with them? Because you shouldn't just interact with people and just feel like they're your personal diary.
Right.
Give them something. And I always try to remember that with whether I'm doing a vlog or I'm doing a reaction video, I want to give someone a takeaway of something to say, I watched this. It wasn't just her cutting up and gossiping. Right. She left a message, or I learned how she makes salmon or something like that.
Right. And see, and that's the biggest thing whenever it comes to vlogging for me. I'm like, if I don't have nothing valuable to like allow them to take away from the video, then what am I posting for? I could just get on Instagram Live. And that's why I'm constantly saying, if I'm not uploading on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. Find me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, because I know that I'm active on at least one of the social media platforms when I'm not active on the other. Now, if I wasn't active on any, then yeah, it's time to be concerned, send out the Amber Alert, shit like that, like something's not right. But if I'm active on one, and I don't feel like like one is more important than the other. It's just whatever I'm feeling like doing or connecting with a certain audience at that particular time.
Okay. Tell me this, maybe this will be my last question. We used to see you traveling a lot before Corona hit. Where's the first place you want to go? Are your bags like packed? Are you ready to go somewhere? Like, I keep thinking in the back of my mind where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea what you want to do when they're just like the world's open back up again? Like, are you trying to go on a vacation? Are you trying to hit a pool, your neighborhood pool? Are you trying to get to Cabo or something like that? Like, where are you going when the world opens back up?
Well, it depends on when the world is opening back up. So for Valentine's Day, Rendell and I, we went to Miami. And so that was very relaxing, and I enjoyed the weather, everything about it. And then, like the snowstorm happened. So luckily, like when the tickets were bought, we had no idea that this was happening, and so, was going to happen, shall I say. Mm-hmm. But let's say summertime, if everything is open, first place I'll be is Croatia in July for an influencer trip, and then Antigua in October. August is Cabo for my friend's 30th birthday party.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what's on the agenda right now. But as far as, I'm sorry?
What's the Croatia trip?
It's Yacht Week. It's like the first Black influence like yacht week there. So I'm kind of nervous about it. I mean, of course they're taking preventative measures and extreme caution with it. But
so if
a bill has to pass in order for my ass to like actually go. Like,
so when they say Black YouTube, is it like Jackie Ina? Is it Makeup by Shayla?
No. It's so I say Black influencers, but I really mean Black entrepreneurs. So it's a travel group, and they're bringing on, social media influencers and things like that. So that's in July. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think that I'm one of the influencers. I know Jigla's one of the influencers. And I'm not sure who else. Nick Paddywhack might be one of them. Mm-hmm. But I know that same group, they're going to St. Martin in May. And I could go on that trip, but I'm kind of just like sitting it out, like just trying to wait to hear what Biden gonna pass. And I don't know, like I'm still kind of nervous about the whole like getting together as like a big group
and get stuck.
Yeah.
Close the borders or something like that. If something happens again, you don't want to be on the other side of you don't want to be on the other side of you can't get back in. But usually, I mean, if you're out, usually they'll let you back in, I think, in a certain amount of time. But
and like I said, they're taking like preventive measures. Like everyone has to take COVID tests within, like the first 72 hours, like 72 hours before the trip, and then getting there. I believe it's quarantining for a few days or taking another test when you get there. I have to, like, each trip is different, so I have to like read their protocols. But just with our guy here in Texas, opening everything back up, and Biden, he has his own thing going on. I'm just kind of waiting for the go ahead and making sure that everyone has their tests and vaccinated. I'm not getting vaccinated, but I would feel more comfortable if everybody provided a test, at least, to where I can still stay my distance, but I wouldn't feel so bad being 6 feet away from you, in a sense.
You can wave. I mean,
yeah.
Text me. Go ahead.
I mean, honestly, people are out living life like COVID is not real. Like COVID said, all right, y'all, I'm out. Like, no, COVID still exists.
Life, yeah.
Nah, like the clubs are open. I'm like watching Instagram stories. I'm seeing people in VIP sections and in the club and lounges. Not a mask in sight. Day parties, not a mask in sight.
Yeah.
The DJ is wearing the mask, but the DJ, the one not even in the mix.
The DJ is just like,
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So, but yeah, I think that's all I've got. We made this almost 2 hours. We'll have to, yeah. But yeah, you guys, thank you to everyone who joined us, and thank you for hosting, Missy. I really appreciate it.
No problem. You guys, if you aren't aware of Fran, definitely follow her, check out her channels. She's absolutely breath. I mean, like from the first video I even saw that you did as far as a reaction, I was like, oh, she's so sweet. And then just our encounter, a few months ago or whatever, you were just like super sweet, no hard feelings, no nothing. And I'm glad that we were able to, have something good come out of it and connect on this level.
Yes.
And, hopefully in the future we have more.
Yeah, I would love to in the future, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So, all righty, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll make sure to hit save.
Okay, so we will see you again soon, and see you guys out here on Instagram. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you again for hosting, Missy. It was really...
All right. Well, you have a great night.
Okay. All right. Take care. Okay.
Okay.
See you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Wait, it's asking me if I want to end.
Okay, I was trying to get my mic back on. Guys, you guys are awesome. Some of you guys stuck in here the whole entire time. I think most of you did. I know there's been a little bit of in and out, but that is like completely okay. So I thank you guys so much. I will come back later. I've been sitting here, in the comments with you guys, drinking some coffee. Little mama just got up, so I just let her out. So I'm going to tend to a few things around the house, and I may come back just for a little while. We just started spring break here, and it's going to run all the way through April 12th. So I'm probably going to be a little bit busy momming, but that is also okay. Guys, I hope that you have an awesome day, and I would love to hear any of your takeaways down in the comments. I think Missy really offered a whole lot of information. I hope any of you who are content creators or just passing through, you enjoy Missy Lynn, a fan or whatever the case might be. I appreciate all of you, coming through and, just taking a listen and hearing what she's got going on, because she's had a really good run here on YouTube. And like she said, she's kind of pulled back just a little bit, but maybe pulled back to kind of regroup, to come back with some new and exciting things, kind of another phase of her career, since she's been doing this for a minute over here on YouTube. So definitely seeing someone with that hustle and work ethic is really nice. So yes. Right, Olivia, we definitely are going to be doing some spring cleaning. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this live down because it kind of went long enough. And then I'm going to come back in a little bit and we can all chat. So maybe about some mom things. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll come back on Francoise Vlogs. Just give me a minute to kind of get reorged, and I will be back later. Bye-bye.